Well, it's another part of Animaniacs, The Great Edgar Hunt. This time we're in Spooky Movie still, and we're going to be going through more Spooky Movie. So, we've got this door here, and, well, there's a whole bunch of platforms about. Also a bunch of acid. As you can see, these platforms here are basically just like buttons, essentially. Pressure pads. Jump in all of them, and eventually a way out will open for us, as well as another Edgar will be available to us. This spinning bit here does not do anything, it's just there. Also grab all of the pumpkins as well. Never mind, the pumpkins are actually what give us the Edgar. Well, whatever happened, we missed it, because I got an Edgar. But we're gonna go ahead and get our Edgar right now. Let's pretend that we actually got rewarded for pressing all those buttons. And hey, now we've done that, we can now go on forward into essentially the next boss fight of the game. So we already have Dot saved. However, we still have to get Wakko saved. And luckily, Wakko is right beyond this spiral portal place thing. Just go on forward, grab all the pumpkins, get to the door, and watch the cutscene ahead of you.
At last, my creation is complete. She is beautiful, and she is mine. From that fateful day, then stinking bits of slime first crawled from the sea and shouted to the cold stars, "What's up?" Our greatest dread has always been the knowledge of our own gullibility. Tonight, we shall ascend into the heavens. We shall make the earthquake. We shall command the thunders. And we shall poke fun at the really fine rain that pokes you through. It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Alright, this boss fight here. Now, this can be kind of confusing to you at first because of the fact that if you get anywhere close to her, she will bring up the shield and you'll basically get hurt no matter what from that. So you can't melee her yet. And also she'll start her attack, which is going to be this giant wave of fucking lipstick. If you get hit by it, you get dozed out, and unfortunately, she will come over and try to smack you in the face. Now, here's the big problem with this one. It's not obvious how you're supposed to get through this, because if you wait, or if you try to like jump over it, or move away from it, or whatever, a lot of the time, it just kind of gets you, because it also moves left and right as well, and it's honestly a pain in the ass to even get past it. But if you do get past it, like I'm about to right here, by pure fucking luck, lightning will come down, which doesn't even really try to hurt you, but she'll bring her guard down, you can hit her. And she has 3 waves. This is her first wave where she just does the kissy thing. The second wave is after she loses one of her arms. There you go. Now, if I dodge the kisses, eventually she'll start slamming the floor. But you can kind of tell I'm not going to be able to get to that point because I'm going to end up dying. I only have 1 hit point left. And it's a good thing that I'm about to die because I want to show you what this game does about boss fights. You see, in any other game, boss fights, if you die, will restore all of their health if you end up, you know, dying. I mean, this game doesn't have any life systems, so it's not like you'll ever, you know, game over at this point. But yeah, here's the big issue with the bosses. If you do die during a boss, you'll come back to here to checkpoint. Now, I'm right by the boss, so I'll be able to get back there no problem. And there's no cutscene to watch from this one point onwards, so luckily I can just get right back to the boss. But once I get back to it, you'll notice she has her health back where it was before. Her health will never restart. In fact, no boss's health will restart. So no matter what, if you ever die in the game, the good news is that the bosses will always stay on their health. Which makes them super easy, really. Also, remember that duck button thing? Yeah, this will be the only time I'm ever going to actually use the ducking in this game, considering there's no other real point you'll ever want to use it. Anyway, her third phase is basically the kisses, then that shockwave move she was doing, and then the kisses again. And that's it. That is her entire attack thing. And also I jumped over that one, surprisingly. So yeah, smack her down a few more times, and eventually this boss fight will be over as her head will fall off. And, yeah, then we'll save Wakko. We can move on from there. All 3 of the Warners be saved. And there you go. That's boss fight.
If science teaches us anything, it teaches us to accept our failures as well as our successes with quiet dignity and grace.
Boinky, boinky, boinky.
What did you do to me? What did you do to me? I don't want to live. I do not want to live.
Someone needs a little vacay.
And there you go, I said Wakko. And for saving him, not only is this door now unlocked, but we also get an Edgar out of the safe. That's 9 Edgars, and guess what? 9 is what we exactly needed. So now that I have 9 Edgars, we can now go into our next level, which I'm not going to be doing this part, obviously. But I will be doing next part. However, we can now leave this place. This place has no other purpose for us now. I mean, there's a portal here for us, a door here to bring us back here, but well, we want to come back. Well, we do want to come back eventually because, yeah, there's those statue things that we can't break yet. We'll have to come back to break those eventually, but right now, we'll have to just go backwards, take care of some stuff. I could use the door to just teleport myself back to the very beginning, but I'm going to be going this way because there is the character swap this way, and I am going to want to go ahead and swap to Wakko. Let's go and choose him, shall we? So, Wakko here is not too different to Dot and Yakko at all, except he now has boxing gloves, and that's about it. However, he is going to be of great importance right now, because we're going to get an item in this level, and this item is going to be specifically important for Wakko, so yeah, it's a good idea I change into him right now. Anyway, we want to go ahead and go over to that door that we just unlocked because we couldn't go in there beforehand until we actually beat the boss fight. But now that we did, we can now go inside and, take care of whatever is ahead of us here. It's an elevator. Let's go up. And there we are. Oh, it was acid here. Whoops. Luckily, I'm not dead yet. That would suck. Let me go ahead forward and grab some of the pumpkins. And hey, another checkpoint, another door. Now, there's no health around, but there is a bunch of axes and crushing walls and, dangerous, armored guys. Luckily, I'm Wakko, so that means I'm not going to get any damage because, he's wacky like that. He just won't take any damage even if you get very close to these axes. I mean, yes, you will actually get hurt, but I just wanted to make a point of joking with that bit. And yeah, that door's now locked, so we can now only move forward. We can't go back. As I go up on this platform here, it just brings the lasers down and gives us a way over, but now we got Indiana Jones this shit. Luckily, we can actually move on forward from here, and, this boulder here is very slow, so we're going to be able to catch up no matter what. We're going to be able to get through this. I don't think it's even possible for this fucking thing to even catch you. Like, these platforms sink a lot of times, so yeah. And there you go. So now we're in this room, and there are some enemies here that are going to be confusing at first. Now, we already know that for a lot of these enemies, you have to make them get dizzy before you can actually hurt them. The problem is, it's not, well, obvious what you have to do for that one. It's not obvious what you have to do in order to get these guys dizzy. Because the way these enemies work is interesting in that what happens is that they chase after you. And they can just stop and attack you, but that will not work. And you can bop at them as much as you want, but they will never take damage. They'll get stunned, but that's about it. And if they attack, then they'll just go right back to the spot. You have to wait for them to do that move, and then they'll get dizzy from that move only. And then you can kill them. And you have to kill all 3 of them before you can actually go ahead and grab your letter and leave the area. And, yeah, this entire bit is just stop the fucking clock on the spots that it indicates, and then take care of the enemy, and then repeat and repeat until you get that letter, and then the door opens. It's not hard to take care of these enemies once you know you have to do that with them, but if you don't know that, it can take you about a minute before you realize, oh, when they do that one attack move, then they start getting tired. And that's going to happen for a lot of the enemies in this game, so get used to it. It's going to be a common thing. Anyway, we only have 1 clock left, and this one took me a lot of tries because I kept fucking up the timing. I mean, it's very simple, but yeah, I just kept fucking it up. So instead, I'm going to jump cut to when I actually don't fuck it up. Like so. And there you go. I got the M. And not only did I get that M, I also got my way out of here. And this is important because this path here will take us to the back area. And the back area is going to be important because it will bring us to an item that we actually need. Also, the camera won't move now. Thanks, game, for not moving the fucking camera. Anyway, ahead of us is the backyard. And yep, these guys just got bigger. Just, you know, avoid them. Don't follow the path this time. Just get the pumpkins. And also be careful of all these huts around here. This chainsaw kid is going to be the same thing as that guy we fought beforehand, except his move is that he spins his chainsaw around before getting tired. So, yeah. Also, you can get hit and they'll still get dizzy, but if they get stopped, then they're not going to get dizzy. It's very picky, and it's honestly very mean on the requirements for taking care of that bit. However, this level still has one more main surprise for us, and luckily it's in this area. So, yeah, get ready for part 2 of essentially the hard part of the game. Also, I timed it so well, I got the knockout and I got the kill at the same time of that one. Now, there is a way up here, and going up here can lead us straight to where we can actually interact with something to get an Edgar, but I fell on the last platform. But right below us is not only an exit back to the entrance, which has something important on the sides here that we need to read, which I'll let you know what it is later, but on the corner here is Pinky and the Brain for another minigame.
Gee, Brain, what shall we do on this level?
The same thing we do on every level, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
How are we going to do that this time, Brain?
We are going to use my new invention, the Dig-O-Matic.
Narf.
Oh, I dig the Dig-O-Matic, Brain. I really dig it, baby. Yeah!
You have no idea how the Dig-O-Matic works, do you, Pinky?
None whatsoever, Brain.
We will use the Dig-O-Matic to destabilize the Earth's gravitational pull by drilling a hole from here to Kathmandu, thereby causing everyone on the planet to be flung into the lonely depths of space.
Egad, Brain, that's brilliant. Oh, wait. But what's stopping us from being flung into space when the Earth's gravitational thingy stops?
Pinky, you are such a simpleton. We will duct tape ourselves to a nearby tree.
Narf.
I love being taped to trees.
Use the movement stick to control the Dig-O-Matic. Watch out for unexploded Acme bombs and lava sprites.
And now I begin the hard thing.
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, so this is essentially that kind of like old arcade game where you just move around and then there's all these, you know, rocks essentially, but they're explosive pumpkins. And they will explode and bring out a whole bunch of a square of fucking land here. And they can fall from the side as well. Keep that in mind. But the main thing you want to take note on is how fast they fall. Because you might notice a pumpkin here that I can't even move. It's going to be there forever unless I essentially go under and make a drop. Now, if I just hold the right or left button, I'm not going fast enough to take care of that. What the game wants you to do is it wants you not to hold the button, but to essentially tap the button as fast as possible. And no, you can't go up. You have to go left or right and keep going that direction as fast as possible to avoid getting exploded. Now, I'm basically going to game over on this very first screen to get all my lives back, essentially. And I want to show you the failed screen, which, you know, you can retry immediately. And now I'm going to show you me actually doing this. This is the hardest Pinky and the Brain minigame, in my opinion. And the reason for why it's so difficult is because of the areas you have to deal with it. There's also this fire enemy here. He's invincible and he'll only move around, like, sort of clockwise, I guess, or counterclockwise. I don't remember which one clockwise to anti-clockwise. However, all you have to do is just not go in its area. At some areas, though, at some parts of this entire minigame, you will have to enter its area. However, it can die to a pumpkin. So, there's that as well. But if you don't have a pumpkin, you have to get across. Just time yourself correctly and move fast. Now, this is a very old-timey sort of puzzle, really. I mean, for anybody who had like a Windows 98 or whatever, you probably remember stuff like, you know, Chip's Challenge and such. This is kind of like that, except there's no things to collect, really. In fact, there's no extra lives to collect. All you can really do is try to get to the exit as best as you can, and that's about it. And yeah, like, this is the entire thing. And it shouldn't be that bad. There's a whole bunch of different paths you can take. Some will just take you a long way around and such. But there's a lot of ways you can go, and you know, a lot of places to look at and such. The main problem, though, is obviously going to be getting through this. Because you only have about 4 tries, 4 lives essentially, and if you lose all of them, you're back to the very beginning. And back then, when I played as a kid, this was the hardest one to me because I just could not press the buttons fast enough or couldn't even figure out a lot of these very well, and unfortunately I would end up dead a lot. And I would end up game overing a lot, and it would take me a while, a few hours, before I ended up actually beating this. And I was a kid back then. So, to give you the truth, even though I died here, this wasn't that bad, but at the same time, compared to all the other Pinky and the Brain minigames, this was the hardest one in the entire game. Oh, by the way, we got a shovel now, and guess what? This shovel, it's Wakko's shovel. Or his spade. This is what we're using to dig up the mounds. As you can also see, Dot here has the grass skirt, and Yakko there has a bomb. And they're all specifically for them only. So as Wakko, all I have to do is press the special move button, which is the triangle button. See? And that'll let me dig any of the, you know, the spots that, you know, I can dig, which would be the mounds. Now, to dig on the mounds, all you have to do is actually get on top of them. Not next to them, not as close as possible on them, right on top of them. And almost all of them will give you just that. It will just give you the item you need, which for us here is the pumpkin. I don't think there's ever a time where it gives you a letter from memory, and I don't think it gives you an Edgar either. There is some moments where it does different things and gives you some things, but almost all of them, it's going to be giving you one of these items, which, again, for us here, is the pumpkin. So every time I dig these spots, I only gain 1 pumpkin. And yeah, we need the shuttle for all of that. There will be moments, though, like for instance, we already know on the Ye Old West level, there was a dig spot there where his key was dug up there. So we need to go ahead and dig that up. But for the most part, it's just going to be getting pumpkins. And, yeah. Go around, look for every hut that you haven't broken over and then, you know, looked inside yet, and then move on forward from there. Hey, there's the E. We have almost all the letters. In fact, in this one level, in this one instance, we can actually get all the letters right now, in fact. So that's actually kind of neat. Anyway, you might have noticed on that fountain on the top, there was an Edgar there, but we couldn't actually get the Edgar. The game would not let me just grab it. It's just, you know, kind of stuck there or kind of floating on top of the water there. So we can't grab it yet. However, that's why we have to go up this way, because you might notice there's a pipeline. The pipeline goes all the way up to this open window here. And if we go up here, we'll notice there's a small room here. Has a few little portraits and such around, but the main thing, also the guillotine, but also, there is a valve. And there we go. We can now get ourselves another Edgar. I believe at this point this will be our 10th Edgar, so that's pretty neat. I was going to stand on that. No point doing that, but hey, you know, in case you wanted to. Too bad the fall damage exists. And hey, as I go over here, I will be able to get this Edgar, and that'll bring us to 10. And with 10 Edgars out of the way, well, unfortunately that's all the Edgars we can actually get in this level. Yeah, we can only really get like a few extra pumpkins for the most part because there's an area here, but it's got water, and we can't swim yet, so we can't do anything here yet. You could potentially glitch under there. There is a way to glitch under there without actually having to swim, but yeah, we're just gonna worry about that later on. Anyway, we're not going to go to our exit because we can't just, you know, use a door to go back. We do have to go ahead and fucking go back through that one little area there. Which, by the way, Jesus Christ, you can see how annoying this is. By the way, the thing about this in particular, this whole bit there, up there, you might notice there is like a board there that kind of gives you like scores and such. And you might notice there's a C, and it says 500 points. That is not a collectible. That is the requirement for this. This is a shooting minigame. If you shoot yourselves, you know, Yakko, Wakko, and Dot, you lose points. But if you shoot the bats, the ghost, the witch that flies in every now and then, and the duck, yes, a duck, it's a vampire duck though, then you'll get points out of it. Your goal is to get 500 points, and if you get 500 points, you will acquire yourself the C. That is how you win this. It does not end when you get 500 points, it keeps going till the timer runs out. But within this timer here, you have to shoot for essentially all these guys, all these enemies, in order to get 500 points. And yeah, it can get a little obnoxious, like as you can see, the Animaniacs here, the Warners, just kind of really fly into your face and cover the entire screen at times. It's a bit obnoxious, but the main thing you want to actually hit for almost every time is going to be the witches. They get you 40 points no matter what, or 50 points really. So you can kill everything else, but get the witches, and they will bring you up to that 500 no problem. It's a very easy minigame. And now we got 500, or at least 900, and we got the C now. And with all the Acme letters, we now have a 4th hit point. Yes, that's all the Acme letters do. They give you another health point. So, yeah, that's it. And that's it for this entire level for now. We can't actually do much else here, so Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave. Don't worry, we'll come back here later in order for us to, you know, take care of the underwater section, a few of the other areas around here. But right now, Spooky Movie is donezo. So now that we're done here, obviously the enemies will be around here, and the most the enemies are going to be around here is going to be the ghosts. So, you know, this place does have an ability for us to shoot at, but yeah, that laser gun's just going to get almost no use. And hey, this door is now showing itself, because that building is now open to us. So, yeah, we can now go over and see what's inside. And yeah, I have a dig spot around here, so I might as well go ahead and dig under it. But first, in case you're wondering, there's absolutely no point in me actually taking care of the ghosts. Like, I can take care of all of them, but there's nothing for me, so yeah.
I can dig it, baby.
And all I get is a canister. You can kind of get what this game's gonna be doing with these mounds, right? It's gonna play us off like that, and it's just gonna be kind of dumb. Anyway, there's also, you know, a piranha plant to my left there. Kind of out of place in a way. We'll worry about that later on, I guess. Totally not hinting anything. But right now we'll have to leave because, well, we can't do anything else around here. But we do have two areas to explore now. We can go over to the number 9 Edgar door in order for us to essentially go to our next level. Or we can go over to that other building that the game showed us. And, yeah, we're basically not going to get any more use out of this. There's no other ghosts around. The ghosts don't give us anything, so that's great. Worthless enemies. So we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to go over to that building because let's have a look-see at what exactly is over here. So now we can go inside. We just somehow got an invisible fucking canister. There's a few canisters around here, but also there's an objective here. Over to my right.
Oh my. What am I gonna do? My life is essentially over.
Who are you?
My name is Marvin. I'm the head scriptwriter here.
You write scripts on people's heads?
That must be uncomfortable for them.
What kind of pen do you use?
No, I don't write scripts on people's heads. Head scriptwriter means I'm in charge of all the other scriptwriters, that's all.
Oh, so they write on people's heads.
What qualifications do you need to be a script-writing meerkat, then?
I took a speed reading course and read War and Peace in 20 minutes. It involves Russia, apparently. Listen, my analyst said I need to confront my problems alone, but I admit it, I'm weak. Will you help me?
Let me guess. You've got a deadline and you've run out of paper?
No.
You've got a deadline and you've run out of headspace?
That's not it. You see, a production assistant put our latest script to the good feathers on the window ledge, and it flew away.
And you want us to find it?
There are 6 pages to find, one in each soundstage. It'd help reduce my stress levels immensely, and I'd be willing to trade you for an Edgar.
Ah, more shiny things.
And now we have a basically overarching goal. There are 6 pages, and they're in basically every soundstage, including the main HUD. So we gotta look around and find all 6 of these papers, which you might have noticed that as I was pausing, there was a paper there. And, yeah, we gotta find them all. What do we get out of it? An Edgar, obviously. But, yeah, there's a whole bunch of little areas here, like in the corners and all of that, but nothing else really. It's nice little pictures, though. The main thing, however, is, unfortunately, we're gonna have to look around for papers now. And we had to actually talk to him in order for the papers to spawn. So now, there will be papers around all the levels, including our next one. Because we do have 9 Edgars now, well, 10, really. So let's go ahead and lock this door, shall we? And now, we're in Wonderland, I guess, like a fairy tale land. So, look around. There's a whole shit ton of apples for you to get in case you're low on health. And, yeah. It's just, you know, nice little area. Bunch of breakables about. Bunch of stuff about. Now, last time we only got, like, one item. And this time we also got one item. We got Wakko's, you know, shovel. His fucking spade. But, this part is not just going to have one item. And you will need the lasers to take care of targets at least, so... Again, this is going to be a level where the laser gun will get used. In fact, I believe this is the last level where the laser gun gets used. It's kind of sad what happens to this gun. But what can you do? Just use it to shoot the bridges down, that's about it. Now, we need the spade in order to take care of this mound that the game pretty much deliberately tells us we have to use the spade for. And if we dig this spot, it doesn't give us an item. Well, it doesn't give us a fucking canister, but it gives us the grass skirt. Dot's item. Well, the hula skirt. And now, we can hula. All we have to do is be Dot and use the special move button in order to do a hula move. Then we get a balancing meter, and all we have to do is just balance. And, yeah, we need to limbo. Now, I could go back to the Wild West and do that limbo challenge with the Indians. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that when we go back to the backtracking. What I am going to be doing, however, is I am going to be going forward and taking care of a nice little area right by the Wild West door. You might have noticed there was like a sort of, you know, hole on a fence there. You might have noticed like a little hole there. Yeah, we're going to be going back there, and we're just going to go inside and see what's under there. So I'm going to change the Dot right now and take care of that. So, I'm going to jump cut to it, by the way. I'm going to show you how the hula skirt works. If you're right against the wall, you're not going to move. The game just doesn't give you any movement at all. So you have to take a bit of a distance before you actually go over to the gap. But as you can see, this is the balancing. And depending on how you're balancing, you will find that essentially the music changes. If you hit the reds, you bail immediately. And you can also bail immediately if you hit a wall in a sense. So, yeah, this is essentially the whole ability of hers. So all I gotta do is just limbo from here. And I believe a green is fine, honestly. It's big enough. There'll be times where I have to stay on an orange, which will happen when we get to the Indian one, at least. But right now, we can just do a green, normal limbo, an easy one, and we can get under here no problem. Inside of here are a bunch of canisters as well as another letter for us to grab. All these little hidden areas right by the sound stages are essentially going to involve us getting a nice little letter as well as some canisters out of it. And right now we're getting, I believe, the A out of this one, so yeah, we're pretty much doing fairly fine right now. But yeah, this entire hub does count as a level, even though it is essentially the hub world. And there is some help around here in case you take damage. Yeah, this is the A. So get rid of the snakes and go ahead and grab your A. There you go. And that's the entire area. Now we can leave and go all the way back to Wonderland. Or we could, but I'm actually going to change back to Wakko and go back to Spooky Movie soundstage because, well, there was that area on the side that, you know, just kind of was there and had a mound there. Let's go ahead and dig that mound. I did say that some of the mounds, a rare small few, will do different things. And one of them was given that skirt. This one here teleports us to a secret area. So, yeah. And this secret area has the sea. So, we'll go ahead and grab that, as well as all these canisters. Also a bunch of hands. These hands are unique, though, because they're different colored, I guess. They don't move at all. And, they get taken care of in one hit. So, that's great. And yeah, that's it. So with that out of the way, we can now go ahead, leave this area, and finally go over to the Wonderland area, which is actually called Once Upon a Time, I believe. I'll have to read the sign again to see if I was right or not. But yeah, we're done with all these little areas, now we can go ahead and begin Once Upon a Time. I was right. Okay, so, I'm not doing Once Upon a Time right now, but next time, in Animaniacs, the Great Edgar Hunt, we are definitely going to begin this level, and this level is honestly fine. It has a branching area, but for the most part, it's fine. It's gonna be a bunch of fairy tale stuff, essentially. So, yeah. And yes, a lot of it's gonna be underwater, so we'll be able to swim finally. You will talk to this fish dude over here. He's quite a duder, isn't he? We'll talk to him next time, in the next part of Animaniacs.